Dr. Alex Wren had seen many wonders in his 12 years as a xenobiologist, but nothing prepared him for the creature trembling beneath the bioluminescent canopy of Kepler 442f. The planet's twin moons cast an ethereal glow through the crystalline leaves, and there, nestled in a crater still warm from impact, lay something that defied all known classifications. It was no larger than a house cat, covered in iridescent scales that shifted between copper and gold. Two translucent wings, veined like stained glass, lay folded against its serpentine body. Steam rose from its nostrils with each labored breath. When it opened its eyes, brilliant amber orbs that seemed to hold an ancient intelligence, Alex felt his heart skip. Impossible, he whispered into his comm device, though he'd disabled the link to the orbital station hours ago. Some discoveries were too precious, too dangerous to share immediately. The creature chirped, a sound like wind chimes in a storm, and tried to lift its head. It was dying. Alex could see that much. The impact had injured it, or perhaps it had been abandoned. Around the crater he noticed scorch marks and what appeared to be the remnants of a larger shell, evidence of a violent hatching. His training screamed at him to maintain protocol, observe, document, report. Do not interfere with alien life cycles, but his humanity, that stubborn spark that had driven his species to the stars, wouldn't let him walk away. Alex carefully scooped up the creature, feeling the surprising warmth radiating from its body. It weighed almost nothing, as if its bones were hollow like Earth's birds. The moment he touched it, the creature's trembling ceased. It nuzzled into his thermal suit, seeking warmth, seeking comfort, seeking a parent it would never know. "All right, little one," Alex murmured. "Let's get you home." The first 3 days were chaos. Alex converted his quarters into a makeshift nursery, much to his AI assistant's disapproval. The creature, which he'd begun calling Solus after the way it seemed to glow when content, required constant attention. It couldn't regulate its own body temperature, and refused every synthetic nutrient paste Alex offered. On the 4th day, inspiration struck. Alex had been cataloging local flora when he noticed Solus staring intently at a sample of crystallized tree sap. When he placed a small chunk near the hatchling, Solus didn't hesitate. The creature's jaw unhinged slightly, revealing rows of tiny crystalline teeth, and it devoured the mineral with evident satisfaction. "You're a lithotroph," Alex breathed in amazement. "You eat minerals, metals, crystals." This changed everything. No wonder Solus had been near the impact crater. It had been drawn to the meteorite's rich mineral composition. Alex immediately adjusted his approach, offering carefully selected geological samples. Solus thrived. By day 7, the hatchling had doubled in size. Its scales had deepened to a rich bronze, and when it stretched its wings, they spanned nearly a meter. More remarkably, Solus had begun to mimic sounds. Alex's footsteps, the hum of equipment, even simple words. "Solus," Alex repeated slowly during their evening feeding. The creature tilted its head, studying him with those impossibly intelligent eyes. Then in a voice like grinding crystal, "Solus." Alex's hands shook. Vocal mimicry was one thing, but this felt different. There was intention behind it, comprehension. He spent the rest of the night running every cognitive test he could devise. Solus passed them all, demonstrating problem-solving abilities that rivaled Earth's great apes. By day 14, keeping Solus secret had become impossible. The creature was now the size of a large dog, and its appetite for rare earth minerals was depleting Alex's geological samples. More concerning, Solus had begun producing a low-frequency hum whenever distressed, a sound that resonated through the station's hull and triggered alarms. Alex knew he had to come clean. He prepared his report, documenting every observation, every interaction. But before he could transmit, Solus did something that would change everything. The hatchling had been unusually restless that evening, pacing Alex's quarters and humming that resonant frequency. Then, without warning, Solus pressed against the viewport, scales flaring brilliant gold. Outside, in the alien forest, dozens of lights appeared, answering calls in that same resonant frequency. They weren't alone. Alex's heart hammered as he watched massive shapes emerge from the forest. They were like Solus, but impossibly larger, some spanning 20 meters or more. Their scales ranged from deep crimson to silver white, and when they moved, the ground trembled. Dragons. He was looking at a species of intelligent, crystalline dragons. The largest one, its scales a deep obsidian shot through with veins of gold, approached the station. It fixed one enormous eye on the viewport, and Alex felt the weight of its gaze. This was no animal. This was a person, a parent, a member of a civilization he'd never imagined existed. Solus chirped frantically, pressing harder against the glass. The obsidian dragon responded with that same resonant hum, and suddenly Alex understood. He'd saved this creature, yes, but he'd also stolen it. From the dragon's perspective, he'd taken their child. Every instinct told him to run, to seal himself in, to call for extraction. Instead, Alex did the most human thing possible. He opened the airlock. Solus didn't hesitate. The hatchling launched itself toward the obsidian dragon with a joyful cry. Parent and child reunited with a tenderness that transcended species, their scales harmonizing into a symphony of light and sound. Alex stood in the doorway, alone and vulnerable as a dozen apex predators surrounded him. He should have been terrified. Instead, he felt a strange calm. He'd done the right thing. The obsidian dragon studied him for a long moment, then did something unexpected. It lowered its massive head and touched its snout gently to Alex's chest, a gesture of acknowledgement, of gratitude. In that moment, Alex heard a voice in his mind, ancient and resonant. You gave when you could have taken. You loved when you could have studied. You are worthy. 20 days after finding Solus, Dr. Alex Wren stood before the Interstellar Council, a baby dragon perched on his shoulder, and a delegation of crystalline dragons behind him. His discovery had evolved from a simple biological find into humanity's first true contact with another intelligent spacefaring species. The dragons, it turned out, had been watching humanity for decades, waiting to see if these curious newcomers would prove themselves compassionate or merely exploitative. One abandoned egg, one human's choice, had answered that question. As Alex signed the historic First Contact Treaty, Solus nuzzled his cheek and hummed contentedly. In saving one small life, Alex Wren had united two species and proven what humanity had always known in its heart. That kindness, not conquest, was the truest measure of greatness among the stars. The age of dragons and humans had begun.